Hi everybody! Today we're going to see if we can make a Christmas card display out of this piece that I found at the Goodwill. I did try to peel off the words that were already on here. I got some of it, but there's a little bit left. So I'm going to use a little hack that I saw to see if it works. I've got just a baby wipe. It's pretty damp, and I'm just going to lay it down on this piece to see if it helps it get a little wet and come up, and if so, I'm going to use a scraper to try to peel it up, and if that doesn't work, I guess I'll have to try something else. Stay tuned. Well, as you can see, the baby wipe did help get some of this off. It's just not getting it all off. Whatever they used as an adhesive previously, it's hanging on. So I think I'm going to have to take it out to my garage and hit it with the sander a little bit to try to get some of this off. So the sanding was the option. It got it off very nicely. I wiped it down a little bit so it looks a little damp still. But yeah, it took off that glue and everything in no time. So now I'm going to give it a coat of Waverly white chalk paint in a matte finish. I suspect it's going to take a couple coats to achieve the finish I want, but let's see. I wasn't sure what I wanted it to say on this Christmas card display piece. I wasn't sure if I wanted holiday wishes or season's greetings. So I printed them both up just in a Word document, sized it to the size of this little piece, which this one is 10 by 3 and this one is 8 by 3. So I kind of just sized it to that. And I held it there, and I decided that I liked the season's greetings. Now, I don't have a Cricut or a Silhouette or any kind of cutting machine, so I went ahead and just printed it. I put a little bit of chalk on the back. That's why I've got all this chalk here. And then I just used this little skewer that I use to mix up paint and things like that. And just kind of traced it, I chalked the back of it, laid it down, and then I just went over the lettering with this little skewer, and it gave the faintest, let me emphasize, the faintest little pink outline, which was fine because then I went and found a colored pencil and went over that. So that's what I have right now. I'm going to go ahead and do the greetings. In the same way, I'm just going to chalk the back of this, and then I'm going to go over it and use the colored pencil again, because I'm not sure what color I'm going to put this in yet, whether I'm going to paint over it with black or paint over it with red. I was thinking initially red, but I'm not really sure. So I guess I'll have to either decide on one of those colors. But anyways, that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did that. I just have this, again, this is just printed in a Word document on my regular printer. Nothing fancy about it, just regular white copy paper. I'm going to go over the back of it with some chalk. I'm going to line this up how I want it lined up. I'm probably going to get the top of my head in the camera shot here, but just bear with me. I think instead of using this time, I might use the pencil and see if that gives me a more crisp line. I don't know if you can see that. This is actually darker than it did when I did it here, and that's probably because I used the pencil instead of the skewer. I'm going to go over it with this pencil just to make sure it's kind of there and I don't lose it. I've decided to use a Sharpie marker. I looked for my paint markers, and my black one has dried out. Unfortunately, I haven't used it in a while. And my only other option is white. So I'm gonna go with a Sharpie and hope that that works out. If I can get the lid off of it. Go. And of course, the only Sharpie I have, or that I can find, is this really fat chisel tip. So let's see what I can do with that. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next with this and what direction I wanted to go in. And I saw that I had these large candy canes that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I had cut one of them down for a previous craft that I worked on. So I had this chunk, and the way I cut it down is I used this saw, which I can't remember what it's called right now. My husband has told me multiple times, but I just keep calling it a P saw because it looks like the letter P, but I know that's not the name. I just don't remember what it is. So when I had cut these down, I used this saw to just mark what I needed and cut it down. And I was thinking that they might look really cute here, but then when I looked at it, I realized, which I hadn't realized previously, that this isn't level. So this section is wider than this section. But I'm going to go ahead and just use it anyways because I still think it'll be cute. I'm really struggling with what to put up here. I haven't liked anything. I've tried looking at a bow, I've tried some greenery, and I'm just not liking any of it. So I'm gonna skip it for now, and I think I'm just gonna add the ribbon to the back that will hang down for me to clip the Christmas cards to. I'm going to try making a bow. I've tried a bunch of other things that I didn't like for that top section. We're going to go with a bow. See if I can make something I like. You'll notice my bow maker here is homemade. When I first started doing wreaths, I didn't really want to invest in a bunch of stuff, which looking back now it's kind of laughable because I bought more ribbons and materials and craft supplies in the last year than I've probably ever purchased in my whole entire life. But my husband is pretty handy, and he had some scrap wood, and he said he would make me one. So I really appreciate it. I need to glue these dowels down. I have yet to do that, and I think it would help me if they didn't move like they do now. If I try to get this too thick, it'll actually pop out, which is kind of a pain, but it does work. And I am not an expert bow maker. I am a novice at best, but sometimes they turn out really cute and I feel very proud of myself. Sometimes they turn out awful and I want to never show anyone that bow. So let's hope that this is a cute bow. Alright, so I got the bow to this point. Gonna give it a fluff. Move this out of the way. Alright, I could fluff this all day, but I think that is what I'm going to do. Just have to glue that on.